All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story, Blessing Awodibu has announced he's making another run at a pro debut. So he says in this recent post that his starting point right now, 16 weeks out to get sliced and diced and make his waist disappear like abracadabra. So for those of you that don't know, Blessing is technically a rookie IFBB pro. We have not seen his pro debut yet. Even though he's a fairly well-known bodybuilder through social media, YouTube, Instagram, he's really built a name for himself. We have not yet seen him compete on a pro stage against other pros. Now, last year, we saw him preparing for a show. I believe he was preparing for the Arnold Classic Australia last year, so around the same time. And he was getting in really good shape for that show. I'll pull up some pictures for you guys from that prep. I believe these ones where he's wearing the purple posing trunks. That was from his Arnold Classic Australia prep, where he was looking to make a really impressive pro debut. I mean, one of the things that I was really impressed about with Blessing was not only the size that he carries and the conditioning that he seemed to be in when he was getting ready for that show, but his back. His back was very impressive. Again, for a rookie bodybuilder that has not competed yet in the IFBB, I think Blessing was on track to make a really strong pro debut, and I think he's on track to do the same thing this year. Now, if you look at his caption in his original post, he says that he's got 16 weeks, so he's 16 weeks out, which is exactly 4 months out from his pro debut. Now, the only bodybuilding show that we have on the radar between now and May is the Indy Pro. So the Arnold Classic is for sure not happening in March. It's for sure not happening anytime in the next 16 weeks. So the next show on the IFBB schedule is the IFBB Indy Pro in Indianapolis, Indiana on May 8th, 2021. Now today is Saturday, January 9th. So exactly 16 weeks from that Indy Pro show. So I'm suspecting Blessing's pro debut is going to be at the Indy Pro. Now this is a show that Steve Kuklo has won twice. And then it looks like 2 weeks after that, you have the California State Pro. And that's when things start to kick off a little bit. In May, you've got some shows. Then in June, there's a couple shows. Well, there's one show in June, and then you've got some more throughout the summer. But basically, there's nothing going on until that Indy Pro. So it looks like that's probably the show that Blessing is targeting, considering the fact that it's exactly 16 weeks away from the picture that he posted saying he's 16 weeks out. So honestly, I'm really excited to see that because we've seen two really impressive pro debuts this past year with Hunter Labrada and Nick Walker. We got two new pros and two really good pros with really bright futures at that. Hunter and Nick were really two of the standout bodybuilders of the year, and I'm hoping that we see something similar with Blessing. He's already very well known. He's already got a very large following, but let's see how that translates onto the bodybuilding stage with his pro debut in Indiana. And the Indy Pro is actually a pretty good show. I've been to every Indy Pro they've had since it started. I think 2017 was the first year. And of course, last year it wound up getting canceled. But I'm excited for that. Dave Bowers puts on a good show, so I'll probably see you guys there this year. Now, next up in the news, another crazy PR, a crazy set from Julius Maddox. Now, I think that Julius is getting ready to compete again. I think he's getting ready to do a meet where he attempts the 800 pounds again. The last time he did it was back in June, 6 months ago. And I think he's getting pretty much on track. Well, all these crazy numbers he's put up lately. He did a couple days ago, he posted that video, 322 kgs or 710 pounds for a triple. And then that same day, he posted an 815-pound bench press static hold, basically where he just held the weight above his chest. And then today, he posted another one, a 650-pound bench press for a full set of 7 reps. So I don't know about you guys, but to me, it seems like Julius's training right now is peaking. He seems like he's at the very peak of his training, the very peak of his strength. He's putting up some crazy numbers pretty much every day on Instagram. He's posting some new crazy bench PR. And I think Julius seems like the type of guy that would be PRing going into a meet and trying to peak at the meet. So give Julius some positive vibes, give him some positive energy, leave a comment down below, a supportive comment saying you think he can do it. Give this video a thumbs up if you think that he can bench 800 pounds. I want all that positive energy going towards Julius because I think honestly last time, if that misload didn't happen and that negative energy weren't there, I think he would have got that 800-pound bench back in June. And I think this time he just needs that positive energy and everything to go right, of course, not to have any misloads. I think he's going to get it. I think Julius is going to be the man to break that 800-pound barrier with the bench press. And I don't think anyone can do it but him, raw. So thumbs up the video for Julius if you think we're going to see an 800-pound bench press from him in the very, very near future. Now, next up in the news, we've been talking a lot about Hafthor Bjornsson and his weight loss, his over 100-pound weight loss for his upcoming fight in September of 2021 with Eddie Hall. But I think Eddie deserves some props here as well because he's been dropping weight for a lot longer of a period of time than Hafthor has. He's been dropping weight since about 2017, so the past 3-4 years, give or take. He's been working on downsizing, but this boxing fight with Hafthor has kind of accelerated that weight loss. So he posted his own transformation picture saying in 2017, his peak weight was 196 kgs or roughly 432 pounds. And in the right photo, taken recently, very recently, 2021, so this month, is 161 kgs, so 355 pounds, making the difference between the past 3 years of weight loss, 36 kilograms or roughly 80 pounds lost in the course of the past 3 years or so. And I believe him and Hafthor are very, very close in weight right now. I think even right now, the downsized version of Hafthor, I believe Thor is about 6'9", Eddie is about 6'2", 6'3". But I think Thor right now is also right around 160 kg, so around 350 pounds, maybe a little more than that. So while they're both losing weight, they're still kind of in a very similar weight range. And it's crazy to look at a guy like Eddie Hall, having abs at that body weight, 355 pounds. Hafthor too. Both these guys are over 350 pounds with ripped abs. It's just not something you see every day, and I'm kind of curious if we're going to see a fight from Eddie Hall, an exhibition fight like we're going to see from Hafthor prior to their fight in September, because we've got this fight coming up with Hafthor and Stephen Ward, who's a professional boxer, and that is going to happen on January 15th, 2021 in Conrad, Dubai, and they also announced that this is the first of many fights that Thor is going to have prior to his fight with Eddie, so he's going to be doing a lot of these live streams and these free streams of the fight. But he also announced today that Bas Rutten is going to be the official commentator of the Ward versus Bjornsson exhibition fight. So that's kind of an interesting addition there. Mixed martial arts legend, royalty in Bas Rutten. So it's going to be a star-studded exhibition match here. And again, significant size difference between Bjornsson and Ward. So it's going to be interesting to see, how hands-on that fight is really going to be and how easy they might go on each other if it's just kind of a practice thing for Bjornsson. But my point there is we're seeing weight loss from both of them. I'm really curious if we're going to see these exhibition fights from both of them in the 9 months that we have leading up to the fight in September. But comment in the comment section below right now your prediction for the Hall versus Bjornsson boxing match. Do you think Eddie's going to win? Do you think Hafthor is going to win? Comment below who you got and why. All right, now the final story that I have for you guys today is a story that I referenced earlier in the video, the Arnold Classic being postponed. The new dates for the 2021 Arnold Classic, the first Arnold in I don't know how many years, probably 30, that it hasn't been held in March like it usually is. So we talked about this a little bit earlier last week that the promoters said that they were going to come out with the official dates. Now we know, according to Fitness Vault, now this article on fitnessvault.com says, according to the Arnold Sports Festival, they stated on Friday, January the 8th, that the event will not be canceled this year, but it will likely be postponed to September. So that means it's going to be happening in September. And the exact dates expected next week. So the exact dates in September expected to come out sometime next week. Now, this is kind of what I predicted. I think the Olympia is still happening in September. I'm pretty sure they were going to want the Arnold to happen before the Olympia because the Arnold is a massive qualifier for the Olympia. A lot of athletes get to the Olympia by competing and placing well or earning points at the Arnold Classic. It's basically the highest tier show outside of the Olympia. So it would make sense that they would want the 2021 Arnold Classic to happen right before, or at least sometime before, the 2021 Mr. Olympia. And it looks like we're going to be getting that in September, so I'm glad it's not canceled. That's the good news, is that it looks like it's still going to happen. Like I've said before, I haven't missed an Arnold in, I don't even know how many years, probably 12. I even went last year when the Expo was shut down, so I'm glad they're still doing it. It's going to be weird that it's not happening in March, but I will definitely, I'll be there. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about all the stories we discussed in today's video. Please give the video a thumbs up if you did in fact enjoy it. It helps out a lot. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.